Welcome back to the Papa Meat channel. How you doing? How you doing? Come on in and sit on down because today we're talking about Disney adults. Oh, it's a reoccurring theme on this channel. I feel like to talk about Disney adults probably every month. It's always fun. One thing happened recently where there was a couple little lawsuits that happened over some disgruntled Disney adults. It happens. Who doesn't get disgruntled at Disney once or twice, right? But it did make me think, what are some of the craziest lawsuits that has happened at Disney? Whether it be from the Disney adults themselves or from God. If a Disney adult sues Disney, it has to be like spitting God right in the face. So today, if I can dig up some of the craziest, weirdest lawsuits online and just talk about them. And this whole idea of looking up these crazy lawsuits online started with a incident that happened very recently at Club 33 in Disney World. We are going to label this the Club 33 banning incident. Club 33 is an exclusive series of sophisticated and luxurious fine dining establishments for elite guests that are found within the Disney parks. This is where you like the Great Gatsby. You're not going to see Mickey in his normal overalls or his breeches. You're going to see him in a nice tux. Primarily, Club 33 was a place for Walt Disney to take potential investors. There was puppets that he would operate on the wall and talk with people. It was a very weird place to get drunk at Disney. I'm pretty sure it's the only place at Disney where you can get an alcoholic beverage. I'm almost positive. But when I say this club is exclusive, I mean that the wait list for a membership can take years. Even when it's finally your turn, you gotta be prepared for a $25,000 cost up front, followed by $10,000 each year after. Per person! Do you got that in the bank? You got $25,000 just to throw at Club 33? Sure, okay. And that's only for the Disneyland Club 33 members. At Disney World, it's $3,000 to join, and an annual fee of $15,000.
Why the difference?
There's no way the Club 33 is that much different at Disney World, dude.
I bet you there's people who are like, I have memberships to...
Oh, dude, 100%. This is like the guy who's hoity-toitying around. He's just like, I got this new car. Yeah, well, I got the even more luxurious version of that car.
This is literally like Disney adults heaven.
Oh, dude, if you're able to be a sadistic, psychotic Disney adult while maintaining an income that allows you to be able to pay for this, you've made it. I think that's when you could probably be like, yeah, I'm a Disney adult. And they're like, what? And you're just like, Club 33 Disney World? Have you heard of it? But for a couple in Gilbert, Arizona, attending a membership was not an easy feat. It took Scott and Diana Anderson 20 years to save up for the hefty fees, as well as 10 years on the wait list. The 10 years is probably obviously a part of the 20, but combining both, 30 years. What would have happened if they would have been like, hey, you're ready, and they didn't have the money? Would they just be like, oh?
They'd probably take a loan out.
They probably would take a loan out, dude. I bet you anything Disney has a bank, just get a Mickey loan. They have Tears, we have a Goofy loan, we have a Donald loan, and we have a fucking Mickey loan. Or a Walt loan. But after 5 years of membership, the Andersons estimated that they spent $125,000 annually in Club 33, as well as the park. That's $125,000 a year. What are their jobs where they can spend this kind of money there? They often bring their family and friends along with them to experience it all as well. So sure, they were paying people's dues as well, but still, $125,000 every year.
I feel like once you're in the club, the drink should be free.
If I find out that when you're in the club and it costs that, and you still they're like, here's your bill, I would be livid. If there's a waiter who's just like, there's your bill, thank you so much for it. Got a couple questions. That's been my funny thing lately. I'll hit my card on the beep or whatever. It's gonna ask you a quick question though, real quick. Okay, was that what it said? A tip? Oh, I had no idea. I didn't know what that was.
Today's video is sponsored by MeUndies. Kick off fall with being the most comfortable version of yourself with MeUndies. Whether it's watching endless hours of football on the couch or getting squats in at the gym, the breathable fabric of the boxer brief helps keep everything in place. And I mean everything. And MeUndies has a style for everyone, from jock straps to ball caddy. There are over 100 colors and prints to choose from. But MeUndies is no one-trick pony. Ooh, easy girl. They also have joggers, hoodies, shorts, and onesies, and more for both men and women. And their materials are sustainably sourced. Be your most comfortable self this fall with MeUndies. Get 20% off your first order plus free shipping at MeUndies.com/PapaMeat. Thank you to MeUndies for sponsoring this video, and back to the video.
But their fun came to an end in 2017 as Scott Anderson had a little too much to drink one day at the park, showing signs of being publicly intoxicated, which is forbidden in Club 33. One of the cardinal sins of Club 33, can't get drunk. That's bullshit. The only place to grab a drink in the park, it's your favorite place on earth. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars here, and I can't get a fucking buzz going? Are you kidding me? I can't get a couple Mickey Mai Tais and start walking around the park yelling at children. That's bullshit. You should be given a pass to where someone's like, sir, and you just flash like your Club 33 membership right away. You just like fucking club a kid in the face. That would be worth the price. But Scott claimed this was due to a medical condition, specifically vestibular migraine. Vestibular migraine. Put up what that is. That's what I have, looking at this fucking bright ass light, dude. What followed is a lengthy attempt to fight the ban, going so far as to spend $400,000 on legal fees only to lose their case. Oh, that sucks. Even with the staggering legal bills piling up, the Andersons still plan to appeal. Diana told the media outlet, "I'll sell a kidney. I don't care." To be that mentally and emotionally manipulated and completely gone to be like, I don't care. I will pay anything to get back in that fucking park and Club 33 status. Kind of makes you think there's some eyes wide shut shit going on in there.
It kind of feels like Lucifer getting kicked out of heaven, kind of.
The Andersons do read like Lucifer getting kicked out of heaven, God's most beautiful angel. But you know, Lucifer, he's just like, what I wouldn't give to just go back. Now he's like sitting there and they're like, he's like with all the other like Disney adult with like trip pants on. And they're just like, you'll regret this decision, Walt Disney.
So he's just banned from Club 33. Do you think he still goes to the Disney park?
I think he's banned from the park. Or is he just banned from Club 33?
Security guards found Mr. Anderson near the entrance of California Adventure at around 9:50 p.m. They claim he had slurred speech and had trouble standing and his breath smelled like alcohol. I think he was only banned from the club.
If he's only banned from the club, that's even worse. There has to be something alluring going on in Club 33. Why would he want to go back that bad? I'm saying if there's any crazy investigators on YouTube, I am sending you a message right now. I implore you to go out and find out what's going on in Club 33. Or, Nick, I was gonna say we should infiltrate it, but we can't. By the time we can get into the restaurant, people are gonna be totally done with this channel. Next up, let's talk about the allergy death lawsuit at Disney. In 2023, Jeffrey Piccolo lost his wife, Tang Swan, after having a severe allergic reaction eating at the Wrangling Road Irish Pub at Disney World, Florida. Tang Swan, being highly allergic to dairy and nuts, chose the pub due to its promise of accommodating patrons with food allergies. That is so sad. Oh my God. Also, the way we said that makes it seem like I have a nut allergy. They're like, I don't care. We're gonna cook it how we cook it. After making her allergy known and asking for a confirmation several more times, the dish was never properly made allergy-free. Tang Swan and her mother were shopping while Jeffrey dropped the leftover off to his room. During this time, Tang Swan began struggling to breathe and collapsed onto the floor. Quote, she self-administered an EpiPen and was rushed to the hospital. Brutal, dude. When her husband finally got to her, only a small period of time passed before she had passed away. The elevated levels of dairy and nut in her system resulted in an anaphylaxis. In response, Jeffrey filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Disney and the restaurant. But shockingly, Disney argued that because Jeffrey signed up for Disney Plus trial years ago, the subscriber agreement requires users to arbitrate all disputes with the company. This would mean that the damages for Disney would be much smaller, and most importantly, the hearing would be completely confidential and not result in more bad PR for them. Because he signed up for Disney Plus, he's unable to get any kind of compensation, all because the motherfucker wanted to watch the Goofy movie. Piccolo stated he'd never signed an agreement with the park specifically. Even so, the terms and conditions would not extend to his wife, and this information quickly became a PR disaster for Disney, as people had no idea that their legal rights were possibly being taken away in order to use a streaming service. This reads just like the fucking South Park episode with Kyle signing the Apple agreement. Because of the backlash, Disney stated they would waive their right to arbitration and have the matter proceed to court. All right, fine. We'll go against the law and give this guy money. Because he's asking for a handout, we'll give him a handout. You, Disney. Piccolo is seeking $50,000 for wrongful death. Way more. Should be way more. $50,000? $50,000 feels very specific to probably something he wants to buy. He's like, sees like a jet ski in his house. He passes every fucking day on his way to work, right? He works at like a medical database center, and he's just like, every day passes, he's just... For whom the bell tolls, baby. I'd be like, I give you 50 grand and the fucking Club 33. Piccolo is seeking $50,000 for wrongful death, as well as a mental and pain and suffering, loss of companionship and protection loss of income, and medical and funeral expenses. You know what feels kind of weird too is it feels like in a way this guy loved Disneyland stuff. It doesn't even seem like he's even trying to like get more than what he thinks he deserves in this case. It just feels like a guy who's like, he's not being greedy. He's just like, I actually need this for whatever reason. If it was me, I'd be like millions and millions millions and millions. Also, I'm never watching your stupid fucking movies again. The resentment I would feel. Maybe I'm just petty. Disney's just like, yeah, let me queef that out to you in your lap, dude. We only make that every half second. Are you fucking kidding me? Or how about we talk about the woman who was banned from Terror Tower? Now we're getting into the good stuff, dude. A woman named Denise Moody was banned entry from the Tower of Terror ride at Disney World for using it too many times. Because of this, she decided to sue the park for what she deemed as a medical necessity. How did she try to get that one going? If I don't go on the Tower of Terror at least, I don't know, 60 times, I'll have seizures. Denise suffered from abdominal adhesions, and that's why she has to ride it. This is when scar tissue forms between the organs in her abdominal area, causing her severe pain and nausea. According to her, the G-forces of going up and down the 199-foot thrill ride helped break up fibrous adhesions in her abdomen.
Ever since I've been riding the Tower of Terror, I now only have to have surgery once a year versus multiple surgeries a year. And it's the G-forces that going up and down, because the G-forces are in both directions.
Can you imagine her going up and down? Ah! It feels so good! Also, do you think she showed up to Disney World with a with the doctor's note? You're to go to Disney World right now, and you're to ride the Tower of Terror 125 times. There you go. Instead of pursuing practical remedies, Denise purchased an annual pass and was even able to land a guest assistance card, allowing her to access a shorter special entrance and ride the Terror Tower dozens of times every Saturday. That is so fucking stupid. It's crazy. She rode the Tower of Terror religiously, sometimes 50 times a day, every day.
I actually hold the record right now for the most rides of a single rider, which was 56 times in one day.
It got to the point where the park had to reduce her daily limit rides to 4 rides per day. In a blind rage, Moody began cursing out cast members and causing a scene. What the fuck you do? Cuss out Goofy? Get the fuck out of my way, pussy! Leading to her rescinding of her guest pass, a ban from Disney property, and an immediate removal from the park. You can't be cussing out Goofy and shit in front of the kids. In response, Denise Moody attempted to sue the parks, but Disney simply stated her claims are without merit. Oh, dude, what if she makes her own Terror Tower at her house and that's how she dies? Well, a woman locally tried to make a 200-foot amusement park ride in her backyard. Moody couldn't have been happier in the time of her death. Or we can talk about when a disabled man got stuck on It's a Small World. Of all the rides to be suddenly trapped on for a long period of time, is there any worse ride you could be stuck on than It's a Small World? It's hell. It's a personal, even going through it once is hell. For Jose Martinez, this musical hell lasted 30 minutes straight. When the ride suddenly broke down, repairs had to be made while riders were escorted off one by one. However, as Jose was paralyzed and required a wheelchair, there was no way to safely remove him from the ride. The one guy in It's a Small World. That'd be fucking, if you like look back, and there's no one else on the fucking carts, I would start getting the illusion that shit was moving.
Ready shortly, please remain seated in your boats. Thank you.
Hello? Not only was Martinez paralyzed, but he also suffered from panic attacks and high blood pressure. The stress of the ride breaking down, coupled with a seemingly endless barrage of repeating music, resulted in serious emotional distress. No shit, dude. The condition was aggravated by Martinez needing to take a piss, basically. He had to take a piss real bad. It's a Tiny World is playing on loop in his head. He's seeing fucking dwarves running around left and right, and Goofy's laughs behind him. He's having a borderline panic attack as it is. Martinez was ultimately awarded $8,000 in damages for pain and suffering and for disability law violations, which I am glad he got the $8,000. Makes the guy who lost his wife over the nut allergy needed way more. If Jose's getting $8,000 for that motherfucker who lost his wife needs, millions. That is f***ed.
Have you seen the video? I think it's French people.
Oh.
I think they're, but they jump. They like jumped in A Small World and they like burnt the whole thing down.
I haven't seen people burn down, but I've seen people get out and like grab shit or steal stuff off the rides.
I think they burnt the whole thing down.
Disney has their own police thing now too. People used to keep getting on the rides and doing shit or like falling because it was like there's like a water track on some rides and stuff where people would be falling into the water and shit. But now if you get out of the rides, Disney police fucking like run up and they'll straight up like tackle your ass. Next up, let's talk about the woman who was tricked into being on the Matterhorn ride. Wait, so do I take a left? Well, why am I in line now? Oh, Joe, I'm sitting down on a ride. No! This seemingly seemingly endless stream of Disney lawsuits is nothing new into the park. Some of these goofy stories date back to when the park was only a few years old. And in 1959, a woman claimed that she was traumatized after riding the Matterhorn bobsleds. I was too, dude. Are you fucking kidding me? I was too. I thought I was gonna break my fucking neck riding that thing. According to her, she had no idea that the ride was a roller coaster and that she never would have boarded if she had known. Well, what do you mean? What goes on in the mountain? I didn't know this is what this was! She tried to sue the park and lost the trial almost immediately. In her anger, the woman accosted a Disney lawyer in the hallway outside the courtroom. She then put a curse on him to keep him from winning another case. And I'm pretty sure the guy won the next case after. If I was a betting man, I doubt the Disney curse worked. Or we could talk about the nacho cheese lawsuit. In 2011, a 4-year-old child named Isaiah Harris suffered 2nd and 3rd degree burns after eating what was claimed to be scalding hot nacho cheese. I wouldn't have eaten the scalding hot nacho cheese if it was me. The family was taking their first trip to Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida, deciding to dine at Cosmic Ray's Starlight Cafe. As Isaiah's food was being set down, the molten hot nacho cheese sprayed into the young man's face. Wait, so he didn't even eat it?
No.
Like, walk up to it, here's your food. According to their attorney, it must have been at least 160 degrees Fahrenheit. It was stated in the court documents that Isaiah recovered completely from the effects of the injuries. A $50,000 settlement was requested due to the damages and extreme emotional distress. Give the dead man more money! I like how they are even like, he recovered perfectly. Seriously, almost no signs of it ever happening. Here's $50,000. The guy who's like sitting there, he's like at his like wife's fucking funeral plot. He's just like, should have asked for more money, I think. The $50,000 thing is actually starting to fucking piss me off now. She asked several times for the food to be inspected, right? And they're like, totally. There's no way that this is not their first rodeo, whatever, right? Because also, you know what $50,000 feels like? It's like if you get 1 million, more eyes are on you about people being like, you got a big lawsuit win. If he's like 50K, he's being modest. He just wants to retreat back, whatever. I don't know, man. I don't know. Or we could talk about, in 1989, a lawsuit was filed when Lonnie and Karen Boozer, great name, brought their 5-year-old daughter, Lindsay, to Disneyland only to be falsely accused of stealing a $2.50 piggy bank. Give her the fucking piggy bank, dude. It's $2.50.
This is 1989.
Okay, so it's a $5 piggy bank. After being brought to the security office for questioning, Lindsay glimpsed costume cast members walking around backstage without their costume heads. That's when the white girl found out that Mickey Mouse was a 50-year-old Mexican guy. It was his day job. You know what I mean? She's like, what? No! Also, I'd be like, yeah, I would ruin everything. Santa's not real. There's no leprechauns. Rainbows are just fucking, it's like something with the sky. I don't know what happened. There's no pot of gold, dude. I'm getting hung up on the leprechaun thing. This shocked Lindsay, as only moments ago, she was hugging and shaking hands with her favorite characters before being detained. Yeah, but you were also fucking stealing shit, dude. You're a crook.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. She definitely did it. The parents filed a $1 million lawsuit for being wrongly detained and noted that their daughter became depressed and withdrawn after seeing that her favorite characters were in fact just costumes, that they were just Puerto Rican and Asian people dressed up as Disney characters in giant felt suits. What do you expect, man? Supposedly, the 5-year-old child had to spend 3 months in therapy because of the whole ordeal. Eventually, the lawsuit settled out of court for an undisclosed sum. They actually got money out of that. The $50,000 guy, the death deal, is on. I'm glad we put it at the beginning because it is stacking up quickly. How about we talk about Pooh takes the stand for assault? This one is fucking tragic, so get your tissues ready because you're gonna be shedding some tears. In 1974, Robert Hill was doing his usual meet and greets as Winnie the Pooh. Suddenly, a 9-year-old girl began tugging at him from behind to get his attention. In response, Pooh hit the child with his arm, causing bruising and headaches that didn't subside for months. He Rampage Jackson, that little bitch. She's just like, Winnie! Right to the back of her. This, however, was a series of events according to the girl's family. There we go. In a recent interview, Hill stated that he was trying to spin around and playfully scare her, instead hitting her. Okay, well. I was just I'm a bear, remember? It's like you're Winnie the Pooh, dude. Where the are you trying to scare somebody? A suit was filed against Hill for damages, and it was decided that Pooh would approach the stand in costume to avoid breaking character in front of a crowd. What? Because costume characters could not speak, only head nods, foot stomps, and big swings of his tummy could indicate answers. You're talking about a guy in a costume showing up who cannot talk, and this is over the assault of a child in a court case. And the person's just like, It took only 21 minutes to find Disney completely innocent, as Pooh's arms were, quote, inoperable stubs. That's such a funny way to describe Pooh's arms. That couldn't be raised high enough to hit the child in the face, as was the parents' claim. I knew that fucking little... They were lying, dude. Come on. Oh my God, this is the costume from the 70s when this occurred. I'll tell you what the stubs are. That's a great phrase for what Pooh's arms are. That is insane. Or the Typhoon Lagoon wedgie incident. Yes, a lawsuit over a wedgie, ladies and gentlemen. Emma McGinnis attempted to sue the park for $50,000. This is becoming my number 23. You ever see that movie with Jim Carrey? He becomes obsessed over the number 23. Mine's 50,000 now. Emma McGinnis attempted to sue the park for $50,000 after a painful wedgie left her seriously injured at the Typhoon Lagoon water park on her 30th birthday. She went on the Humunga Cowabunga water slide, which features a near vertical 5-story drop. According to the lawsuit, she became airborne before being slammed downward against the slide on the way down. The impact shot her swimsuit inside her, causing an extreme wedgie. I hear that the wedgie's funny because you usually think of your friend pulling up in his asshole, it rips his asshole up and maybe it bleeds a little bit. It's kind of funny. But to go vertically airborne, shoot down, and then the way that the design is made is that it takes your swimsuit, like rolls it up, puts it inside your asshole and your pussy, and slices you open like a goddamn cheese grater. Are you kidding me? I guess I have some sympathy for McGinnis here. After enduring severe internal pain, she was rushed to the hospital to find that she had severe lacerations, damage to her organs, and a hernia. This is probably the first one where I'm like, this is justified. Well, that and the allergy one, and the nacho cheese. Okay, there's been a couple. This one is this is insane to actually be fucking split open like a goddamn nutcracker essentially inside of a slide. That's crazy. Or we could talk about laughing at a disabled woman. All right, now we're starting to get a little more cruel, dude. In 2021, Joanne Aguilar, a 66-year-old woman, was getting aboard the Jungle Cruise ride alongside her 2 daughters. As she was physically disabled, she wished to ride the ADA accessible boat. Because it was unavailable, she opted to ride a non-ADA boat with the help of her daughters. When it was time to exit the ride, she struggled to climb out. Instead of offering to help, Disneyland employees laughed and snickered until she eventually fell back and broke her leg, according to the laws. I'm laughing because it's so uncomfortable, but the idea of a woman like, and people are like, and should have just waited for that ADA boat, dude. You know what I'm saying? What do you expect out of like 16-year-olds working at fucking Disneyland? Walt wouldn't approve, but this is 2021 era. Kids are fucking evil. I mean, what do you expect? You know, that's what I mean by what do you expect? She spent several days in the hospital and weeks at a rehabilitation clinic, but suddenly things took a drastic turn. Joanne contracted an infection and died from septic shock. What? It was suspected that the accident at the theme park led to the turn of events? Holy shit! Although Disney denied the accusations, a lawsuit was set out that sought compensation for economic damages, medical, funeral, attorney fees, and other incidental damages. We don't know how much she got. I swear to God, if it was $50,000, I'm driving my fist this fucking monitor. That's too much. That quickly afterwards? Are you fucking kidding me? Cut a check, Disney. Cut a check for more than 50. Even if at this point, if it was 51, I'd be like, thank God. This is an interesting case, the next one. The biggest scam that Disney ever saw inside their parks. It was 1992 at Disney World's Caribbean Beach Resort. On Halloween night, a young woman named Wanda Mary Normell was found tied to the bed in her hotel room. The room was ransacked, and according to the police report, she was viciously beaten and sexually assaulted. Mary sued Disney for $3 million for inadequate security. As it turned out, the entire thing was all a part of a detailed and coordinated plan. Mary was no victim, but instead a con artist from a notorious group known as the Irish Travelers. Goddamn Irish. One day, while watching a TV show about the lack of hotel security, Wanda's brother Jimmy had the idea for the demented scheme. What kind of program was that? Hey, so hotels have no security. Good luck out there. Like, why would there be a show about that? Wanda agreed to be the victim due to her acting abilities.
I would be the victim because I'm 4'9", and at the time I weighed about 98 pounds. I was real thin. And that I was a good actress, and I could pull it off.
Her brother dressed as Dracula, met her in the hotel, and together, they ransacked the room. Jimmy then tied Wanda to the bed. They both decided that it was best that the scene looked believable as possible. To achieve this, Jimmy beat the shit out of Wanda to make sure the bruises and injuries looked real, because they were real. She's like, I am a phenomenal actor. Everyone's like, we know, Wanda, we know. That's why I want you to be a part of this. She's like, fine, I will. I'm gonna punch you in the face 16 times. We're gonna beat your ribs. She's like, acting. I was in Mary Shelley's Franken. Just gets hit in the face. The police ran a sexual assault evidence kit, but Wanda was already 2 steps ahead. She intentionally had sex with a friend of hers the day before in order to make her story look more believable. Ultimately, the amount of money at play was big enough that it began creating friction between the sister that was along for the con. Wanda's sister Jessie pushed to be her financial advisor. advisor. Wanda suspected that her sister was trying to steal the money for herself.
She was going to be my financial advisor. The check was to go in her name. And I said no, because I knew what she was going to do. She was going to get the check in her name and take it.
When Wanda refused, Jesse had a meeting with the police to snitch and come clean about everything.
I knew I didn't want a part of it, but I was in it.
Just keep the money you have, you greedy bitch. Good guy. I mean, are you fucking kidding me? In the end, Disney kept its money and refused to ever speak on the matter. Jessie, the sister, had all of her charges dropped because she's a fucking rat. Jimmy died of AIDS before an arrest could be made. Whoa! And Wanda spent 18 months in prison, which she claimed convinced her to turn over a new leaf and become an even better actor. But here's the thing. Yes, we're talking about a lot of Disney, Disney adults doing crazy things. We haven't touched on any of like the crazy stuff that Disney has necessarily sued people over as well. There's some dark shit that Disney has sued people over. And one of the saddest events, and I think it's worth bringing up because it's so fucking horrible and I hate Disney so much, we gotta bring it up, which is the Spider-Man gravestone controversy. Because in 2019, Lloyd Jones lost his 4-year-old boy, Ollie, to a rare genetic disease. Because of his child's love of Spider-Man, his father made a touching Spider-Man tombstone to give him a proper send-off. It's just a nice Spider-Man climbing over, and it's just, his kid loved Spider-Man. He wanted to remember, what he loved. To the father's surprise, Disney refused to let him use the Spider-Man picture because they want to preserve the innocence of their hero. I feel like I'm like gritting my fucking hands. My teeth are gonna pop out of their fucking mouth because I'm like... Lloyd became convinced that Disney was only focused on money, stating that they, quote, had bought him all the toys, but now that he has died and we won't be spending any more money, they don't care. Probably a good fucking point because they were like, well, yeah, we have Chinese kids making these 2 penny dot toys. We don't want people thinking that Tom Holland's on this kid's fucking gravestone. Inhuman shit that like lawyers and shit probably think, because lawyers are scum. They're the worst people on earth. That and car salesmen. That and realtors. This goes back to a policy that began with Walt Disney himself. It states that their characters cannot be used on headstones, cemeteries, or funeral urns. Although he was not permitted to use the image, Disney reached out and offered to illustrate a hand-inked, hand-painted, personalized celluloid that recognizes his love for Spider-Man. I always hate that it has to come to this, like, it's only public outrage, where they're just like, well, fine. We'll let him put Spider-Man on his dead kid's grave. And we'll make it hand-painted. Ooh, you want it to be hand-painted? It's personally for you. Like, I would never want to receive that. After that first initial thing, or I'd just be like, go f*** yourself, I'm doing it. Come remove it, I would like to see you try. You know what I mean? Like, that's absurd. But here's the thing. There's a lot of cases out there. I'm sure there's more that we could even go into. But for now, I think it clearly shows the weird manipulation of families at Disney is such a sad thing. You have these devoted people like it's a religion. Some people, yes, I will say, I think try to abuse the system for financial gain. Some. I would say the majority of these, though, were people that were helpless in a moment and just want to be compensated or to feel like they weren't wronged by the thing that they just desperately love. But you have to remember that Disney doesn't care about you. It's a facade. It's fake. They sell the idea of childhood, nostalgia, and imagination while they take every penny and every ounce of happiness, joy from you. All I gotta say is be careful at Disney World. It might be the happiest place on earth, but it is not the safest place on earth. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
My back! Sharon! Airbags, please!
The web facility is not equipped with airbags.
Okay.